We have got a full schedule, and I may take the liberty to move a couple of things around tonight depending on where you are in the agenda, so don't despair if you're on page 3. We may not have to keep you till 9 or 9:30 tonight as we plow through a fairly lengthy agenda this evening. We'll make the best of our time and appreciate your indulgence as we do the business of the city. I'm going to ask Council Member Jay Arrowood, if he would, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an invocation. If you would like to join us, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day that you have created. I thank you for the continued blessings you bestow on this council and your city. I thank you, Lord, that you have given me and this council the opportunity to serve. So, Lord, I ask you for a servant's heart, that's what we do. We are servants for your people. Lord, I pray a special prayer for some law enforcement officers who, hey, they've had a tough day today, not in our city, but I pray that you'll watch over the folks who help protect us, the police and the fire. Lord, go with us tonight as we do your work, and may all that we do and say be pleasing in your sight. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Amen.
We offer a time for addressing council. This is a time that we set aside at the beginning of each meeting. We set aside 30 minutes for this, so we do have some time restriction on that. It appears that we have about 7 folks that would like to address council this evening. And I'm going to give you that opportunity. We would typically ask that you limit your comments to around 3 minutes. I am going to let you speak this evening. I will give you a sign of some sort, even if it's a waving of the paper when you get to 3 minutes, and I will ask that you conclude your comments prior to 5 minutes. So we will move forward with that this evening. Looks like we've got folks in regards to a couple of different items, so feel like it's probably appropriate that we allow you to address council. Council will not answer or ask any questions at this point in time. This is simply for the public to address council in public forum. As you come to the podium, as a matter of record, I would ask that you give your name and address, and that way we'll have a record. Looks like we've got primarily 2 topics, so I am going to bunch those together. As opposed to jumping back and forth. That may make the conversations easier and also keep you from repeating too much what others have said, since some of this may be brought up at some point in time. And so what we will do is we're going to take the folks that are here in regards to the McElrath project or the McElrath Road. I'm going to have you come first, and then we'll do the A-tax after that. So with that, Ms. Booth, Donna Booth, you are our first speaker. You'll come to the podium, please.
Hi, my name is Donna Booth. I reside at 125 Cosmos Lane in Greer. I live in the Suncrest Ribs subdivision, and I'm up here to really kind of voice my opinion and oppose the tract development that is proposed to happen on McElrath for a number of different reasons. I think that most of the people who live there purchase their homes for the privacy and tranquility of living in such a situation. We go out on our decks in the morning, we enjoy the peace and tranquility of nature. I'm concerned about the ecosystem in that nature. We have a lot of different animals that live in that nature park. That's what I call it. There's foxes and deers and birds and everything else. Mostly I'm concerned about what it's going to do to my home value. What is it going to do insofar as zoning issues go, property taxes go? You know, I mean, these are all concerns that we have. And I really do think that with the construction, which I would believe to be at least a year long, would cause a lot of different chaos for all of us. We have an apartment complex that went up last year, and it's just created havoc in the neighborhood. There's so much traffic, and we just want the peace and tranquility of living in the neighborhood that we purchased. I think it's a very good selling point for our homes if we do decide to sell them. And I think that having neighbors in our backyard is going to afford us less privacy, less acreage, and those types of things. So I'm really concerned about the entire issue. There's a lot of residents in our neighborhood that are retired in their 60s, in their 70s, in their 80s. This would create havoc for all of us living in that subdivision. So we're really concerned about it. We're concerned about our home values. We're concerned about our zoning issues. We're concerned about our property taxes. And we're concerned about the absolute chaos and traffic and widening of roads and construction and everything else in a neighborhood that is peaceful, quiet, tranquil, and we all love it and we oppose it, or at least I oppose it. So thank you for your time and have a nice night.
Thank you. Charles McAfee, you're next.
Nobody pronounces my name right, so thank you. I'm going to be looking at my phone for notes, so please bear with me. I just wanted to say I live in actually at 315 Foster Circle, which is the first house on Foster Circle. It is on the corner of Foster Circle and McElrath. So for those of y'all in the neighborhood, I'm sorry about the paint job on the outside. It will get done eventually. But I just want to say I bought that house 20 years ago, and I absolutely love living there. I have been enjoying being a resident of Greer now since I actually bought the house in 04, moved in 05. And I'm thrilled to see all the development in Greer and everything that's happened, but I do have to state that I am opposed to this new project on McElrath. Obviously, I mean, the reasons are many. As far as the woods border me on two sides. So I'm gonna be losing privacy, I'm gonna be losing shade, I'm gonna be losing nature. You know, I hadn't even thought about the wildlife, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I used to see deer, foxes, rabbits, raccoons, all that come up in my yard regularly, and I mean, ever since they built the apartments, I don't see any of that. I love the fact that everybody that lives in that area likes living there, and it's a good thing. Now, when I bought that property, I felt like I was buying kind of a house in the country, if you will, because I had a field across the street, and I was surrounded by woods on the other two sides, and basically I had about 20 neighbors, max. And after that, you know, in 22, when they built the Ryder Junction apartments, that added about 250 neighbors, I believe. So I think there's 210 apartments, something like that. So at the very least, that was a big change. That gave us, you know, permanent light coming in. There used to be no street lights, and now we've got those lit up all the time at night. I have no privacy, and I can live with that. That's not a problem. It's 1 acre, and I'm happy that I've got it. On the other side of that, once that property is developed to the right of me, if they develop that, I'm gonna have less than zero privacy. At least that's how I feel it's gonna be. Also concerned about pedestrian safety. McElrath is basically a narrow road. It's a narrow country road that it's already hard to pass people going each way. And it needs a lot of work. I think that's gonna be a huge problem once the traffic has increased. Let's see. I don't think that road is intended for as much traffic as we're gonna be expecting. So that is a big concern of mine. And I think that's all I need to say. The main thing is I wanna make sure that y'all know that I appreciate what you do. I think we all do, and we really want to see Greer always become a better place, but I'm hoping that they can find another place to put this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ayla Hudson.
This is Alan Hudson. I'm sorry, can't read my writing. 301 McElrath Road. You're talking about putting that development right there. The main entrance is going to literally be right beside my house. That is a little small 2-lane road. There's no other entrance, what I understand, but that one main entrance on that McElrath Road, they're talking about widening the road, but you're going to only widen it from basically 100 yards up to below the apartments. You still have a big bottleneck there. So you're dumping another 60 families on top, or 70 families, on top of the apartments that are there now. The traffic, the road just can't handle traffic. So I don't know who did the study in saying that it could, but I just don't see how it can. Then again, we're losing all our privacy. I raised 2 children there where I'm at. But, you know, it was all kind of country there. You built the apartments to start with. What I understand, the road couldn't handle the traffic for the apartments, but you built the apartments there anyway. And now you're talking about widening the road on my side of the road to handle the extra traffic from the apartments. So now we're talking about dumping another 70 families on that small road. I just don't see how it's gonna work. I mean, you're putting 5 gallons of water in a 3-gallon bucket is the only way I know to put it. But anyway, that's my defining answer on it. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, I believe that concludes those that wanted to speak in reference to McElrath Road. Let's change gears here just a little bit. And same drill. I'll give you freedom for the first 3 minutes, and then I'm going to hold the paper up, and you can wind it down in the next 2. That would be much appreciated. Sally, you're going to have to help me with your last name, Potonsky? Potonsky. If you'll state your name as a matter of the record, we'd appreciate it.
Sally Batoski, 3 Drexel Avenue. I'm here on behalf of Foothills Philharmonic. It's not exactly a household word. Philharmonic simply means a symphony orchestra. And not many cities the size of Greer can boast of having their own symphony orchestra that performs entirely within the city limits of Greer and actually gives performances at least once every month so that tourists coming or other people coming into Greer can have another cultural activity to attend. We've been performing here for over 15 years, and when the Edward R. Driggers City of Greer Center for the Arts was opened, we were invited to perform there, and we performed there ever since. It's a great partnership because we bring people in from outside of Greer to hear the orchestra, and they get to, they're exposed to the wonderful art exhibit that's at the center and appreciate it even more. And we've continued to find partners in the city of Greer to participate with. This was actually our first year of performing in the Christmas parade, and that will become a tradition for us. When we heard about the Greer 150th celebration, we partnered with the Heritage Museum because we wanted to promote that for them to audiences that weren't necessarily in their network. And in our programs, we have an ad for the 150th and the events at the Heritage Museum. Our mission is to be free, fun, and family-friendly, which really fits the city of Greer. Sometimes we perform symphonies, sometimes we perform pops, and everything in between. We have a special family concert, and I'd like to invite you all on May 2nd. We're going to have a Pops and Petting Zoo. That means it's a concert of Pops music, but beforehand you can bring the kids, and we're going to have an instrument petting zoo. They get to try a trombone or an oboe or a violin, and they'll be guided by the players. It's a lot of fun, and it just makes the cultural fabric of Greer richer. And all of us that are a part of that, we appreciate your support in the past, and we want to assure you that every dollar will be spent on behalf of Greer's cultural fabric. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. No stranger to our council, Katie Collins with the Greer Chamber is our next speaker. Floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. My name is Katie Collins. I serve as the President and CEO of the Greater Greer Chamber of Commerce. And as y'all prepare for your discussion on the 2026 accommodations tax, I wanted to provide some impact information from your 2025 investment in the Greer Arts and Eats Festival. So we work with our partners at Visit Greenville to pull these numbers, and I sent a full report to you in advance, so I won't drown you in them, but did want to hit a couple of highlights for you. The 2025 Arts and Eats Festival had a total economic impact of over $246,000. It directly supported 154 jobs, and in the spirit of accommodations tax, it generated room demand by 204 rooms. As we look to 2026, we're extremely excited to continue to grow the festival, and recognizing that it is also the sesquicentennial, which I hope my museum friends are proud of how I was able to say that word finally. We are really excited to continue to grow and drive traffic to downtown Greer. We recognize the investment that you make in us to put this festival on, and want you to know that your investment is paying dividends for the business community and the greater community as a whole. So we appreciate your consideration, your past investment, and look forward to a great 2026 festival. Thank you.
Thank you. Sam and Mike Seibert. Is this a duo? Oh, yes, it is indeed. Welcome. How y'all doing?
All right, how y'all doing?
Good.
I am Chef Michael Cyber and my wife Samantha. We are at 2299 Gap Creek Road, that is Greer Golf Course. We are here to talk about our Jubilee Festival that we have presented to you guys, and me being very well connected in the culinary scene here, especially for Greer, I've had the opportunity to represent the state of South Carolina, and not only the state of South Carolina, but the city of Greer as well, to continue to bring that national recognition and all that's come with that of representing this beautiful city of Greer. And we have really enjoyed being able to continue to bring tourism here as well, being some of the founders of the Renaissance Festival that's happened here before, and continuing to do that. One of my biggest things about putting on this festival is I get a little passionate about food, and I see what a lot of people are doing in our neighboring cities, the Spartanburgs, the Greenvilles, and so forth. And those are big food festivals that are being put on, but we want to be a part of something that's special for Greer, and that continues to build something for Greer, and to give Greer that staying power, why people choose Greer as a true destination, not just passing through Greer, but again, to have that true stay power and to drive the tourism and to bring the cultural arts here as well, and with food. And so at our disposal, we have a lot of connections have been made with local celebrities as well, other celebrity chefs, and celebrities for this golf tournament that we want to, continue to bring here. And with the staying power of this tournament, we believe that this can be something that goes on for years and years to come. And, a little bit of help would be very nice to get to that point. So, have anything you want to add, sweetheart?
Just an appreciation for the city of Greer and everything that it's done for not just my husband, but our family. And my name is Samantha, OPA Seibert, whoever you're asking. We've really, I feel like we've gone like above and beyond to, when he is on Food Network, when we are being mentioned in these, they're all like, oh, well, that's near Greenville. I'm like, no, we're in Greer. And we want to, we always say that we didn't choose Greer chose us. And we want to bring something, I was describing it the other day, but basically like a Pro-Am meets Euphoria, something for Greer, with our 501c and any given supper. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. David Lovegrove. Floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, David Lovegrove, 431 Riverside Chase Circle. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give you a very brief update on the Greer Heritage Museum that I'm the director there. Since our Greer 150 kickoff and opening of all new exhibits in the museum, we have seen fantastic community support. And our partnership and investment in the Greer 150 is really paying big dividends. Our intention is to carry that momentum and build on it throughout this year and into the future. Our second Story of Greer event is coming up a week from Saturday. We already have 220 tickets reserved, and we only started advertising a day ago. So demand is high, and the response to those have just been fantastic. Our new exhibits are expanding our audience. Just this month, we welcome visitors from Virginia, Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Maryland, North Carolina, Georgia, and we even had a few from South Carolina. And we've also hosted international visitors from Australia, Germany, China, and I don't remember the rest. What we believe and we are seeing happen is that a world-class museum can attract a world-class audience. We want to build a magnet that draws people into Greer, makes them fall in love with our town and stay here and spend their money here. That's our objective. So to sustain this momentum, we have submitted 3 applications for the accommodations tax. 2 are in the advertising category. One of those I'm incredibly excited about. Lamar Advertising has graciously given us a 45% discount on a year of billboard advertising across Greenville County, attracting people to come into Greer. And I'm so excited about that. The third is in the new programming category and would allow us to develop new exhibits, and the one we have planned and specifically presented is an exhibit on the history of the police and fire departments in Greer and the role that they play in our community, which I think is often overlooked, and I would love to showcase that. So your support is really appreciated as we continue to prepare for this coming year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Folks, that was all of the people that we had sign up. I was made aware there may have been others that wished to speak, but we do this by direction here, and if there was an oversight, I'm sorry about that, but at this point, those are the ones that signed up for the public forum and who we will entertain this evening. With that, then, council, we will move forward to the minutes of the council meeting. You have those minutes from March 24th, 2026 contained in your packet. I'll entertain a motion that they be received.
So moved. Second.
Any items of note for the clerk? Hearing none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, this evening, we want to follow up on our last meeting. Last meeting, we had the opportunity to recognize some of our city employees, and we always appreciate the opportunity to do that, and especially when it involves someone with as many years as one of the folks that we hoped to honor last week, but was unable to join us. And tonight, he is here with us, and we are going to honor Chris Forrester. This is done by the authority of council, which says, now be it therefore resolved that the City Council of the City of Greer, South Carolina, in a duly assembled meeting wishes to officially recognize and commend these employees for the distinguished and dedicated service for which they have performed, and let it therefore be resolved that the City of Greer hereby rewards this dedicated employee with a certificate of appreciation and an administrative day off with pay. Approved this the 24th day of March, last meeting, 2026. With that, I am going to ask the administrator and Mr. Forrester to join us up front, please. Round of applause. Mr. Merriman, your report, please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. One of the things that I love to do for our employees, especially when there's a week dedicated to a trade or a specialty, is present this to council, present that to the community. This group in particular is unheralded and often overlooked when it comes to public safety, but they are as crucial to public safety as our police and firefighters who are on an active scene, and those are our telecommunicators. They are in a position to respond at your worst moments, and they are often a reassuring voice on the other end of the line. And while they're playing counselor to you, they are also mobilizing those that are coming to you. So this week is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. This is a time we set aside to honor 911 dispatchers. These dedicated men and women are our first responders, keeping our community safe from behind the scenes. So on behalf of our city staff and the people who live and work in Greer, thank you for the work that you do to our telecommunicators. So if you see one, pat them on the back. The Greer Alive event returns to City Park from 5 to 8 p.m. Every Friday. See, this free family-friendly event features live music, food vendors, and free giveaway from the city's Parks, Recreation, and Tourism team, so don't miss that. We got a busy day on the 25th. And so just kind of bear with me. Check the city's websites for items that you can drop off for safe disposal on spring cleaning day. This annual event is at the Convenience Center and runs from 8 to noon. The Greer Goes Global International Festival takes over City Park from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And this is a free event in celebration of the diverse cultures that make up the greater Greer community. And the next Greer 150 Sesquicentennial event, did you catch that, Katie? Good. Sesquicentennial event will take place at the Greer Mill from 1 to 2 p.m. It's the second of 4 Story of Greer events, and it will focus on the city's textile era. And just one other quick update, well, 2 updates. One, there's been some questions about the timing of the speed control devices on Van Eventer. Those materials have been ordered and should be installed as soon as they arrive. So I know that's been of interest to this council. So bear with us as we await on the arrival of those speed control devices. There's one other thing that I think is important that we don't talk about a lot is the city's website. It is quite often the front door of our community and is the front door of all city business. You can get all the information that you need on everything that was discussed this evening, everything from information about Public Telecommunication Week to Greer Alive to all the events that are going on to the city, including the actions that this council will take. Is on our website. Our website recorded its highest traffic count ever during the month of March with nearly 108,000 page views. So I want to commend Michelle and her team. And it's not just Michelle and her team. She just kind of catches all the information that our department heads and managers forward onto her and her team to ensure that we are as transparent as any government you're going to find. Mr. Mayor, Council, that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for the administrator.
All righty.
A follow-up on the city's television channel. I haven't heard anything back.
And I don't have an update to give you tonight, but I will make sure you have it.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
And real quick, on the speed control devices, you said they were ordered. Do
They
we
were
have like
ordered.
an approximate lead time for
I
those?
asked for the lead time. They've not provided it, but as soon as we get them, we're bringing in we're not going to pour them in concrete. We're going to do the
Okay,
rubber ones. So when we get those,
Should be
we'll
pretty quick.
Yeah, should be.
okay. Probably need to communicate that with those people.
With that then, council, let's move to appointments of boards and commissions. Planning Commission still has a vacancy, and I will entertain a recommendation for that if someone has
I do.
person.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, I was looking for someone who would be knowledgeable, and I believe everyone's familiar with Judy Albert. I'd like to place Judy's name in nomination for that position.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for the Planning Commission. Discussion or questions of Councilman Bettis?
I apologize for not having her biographical info, but she is working on it.
Most of us know it.
I think so.
I do have a question, because this came up with Judy being in Paul's district and Paul's assignee being in a different district and,
It's in my
Oh.
district, yeah.
can you guys want to just swap then?
Well, there's no district restriction to that position.
Okay.
The appointment is made by the council person who represents that district. That's, because there's always been a little confusion about that, but yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Others? Hearing none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, we've got 4 items in old business, and then we've got several exciting stormwater reports, and then a number of items in new business, concluding with our accommodation tax grant recommendations as the last item for consideration this evening. Let's go ahead and take the 4 items of old business. We'll dispense of those, and then I'm going to take the liberty as we go into new business to move the accommodations tax discussion to the first item of new business, and then we will follow the agenda after that. So with that, let's move to items of old business, the first of which is the second and final reading of ordinance number 5-2026. This is an ordinance to provide for the annexation of certain properties owned by Curtis C. Hipp, also known as Clarence C. Hipp, located on McElrath Road by 100% petition, and to establish a zoning classification of traditional neighborhood for said properties. Floor is, Ms. Cotty, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give a quick update. The Planning Commission did hold a public hearing on March 9th and recommended approval. And happy to answer any questions that you might have.
For the purpose of discussion, do I hear a motion to receive?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Floor is open.
Did the contractor present what their plan is to Planning Commission? I wasn't here for the first reading, so.
The developer, yes. So the current proposal is approximately 67 single-family detached lots.
My question would be, right back to the last one we did like this. With 67 houses, why are we asking for traditional zoning and not suburban zoning?
Well, the density they're proposing is actually very similar to suburban neighborhood. The lot size and setbacks are the most appropriate for this area, so close to downtown. So our future land use map calls for traditional neighborhood, a little bit higher density this close to downtown and major corridors. So the zoning that they're requesting in staff's opinion and Planning Commission is appropriate, but it does have the density similar to what suburban neighborhood allows.
I got a overwhelming amount of emails and phone calls about this one, and I reached out to several people in planning, and the, a lot of the responses I got were that, the people that were complaining were outside of the city, which I didn't appreciate. But with this being a private land, it's going to be developed no matter what. I guess what we're voting on now is if it's going to be developed inside the city or not. And so, just, I don't know, didn't sit well with me. Not from you.
I think it's pertinent to the conversation, and I appreciate your question and your answer. There seems to be some idea in some regards that we build, or we take these as individual cases in some regards, when in fact the zoning is made clear. And even though we have changed the way we approach that in the last probably 3 years, it is set by definition to the appropriate sizing and numbers and those sorts of things. I do find sometimes that there is some misunderstanding about how all that process works. By the time it gets to us, it will have been through reviews and consideration through the Planning Commission, through our different departments, through our partners, infrastructure partners, from our schools. All these have already had input on this and had a say over it. So as it comes to us, while we consider each one of these on a case-by-case basis as we bring more folks into an annexed area, it's fairly clear what our expectations are going to be for that area, for those that are, that are interested in it or are choosing where to live and that sort of thing. So I would just offer that if indeed there is concerns about that, we'll be happy to answer any questions in regards to that process, but this is a process in and of itself.
3 years ago, that's the UDO, when we adopted
Has it
that.
been 3 years at this point? Close?
The Unified Development Ordinance was adopted in 2023, and then our comprehensive plan was last majorly updated at the end of 2020.
Thank you, ma'am. Others?
Kind of piggybacking off what Mayor Danner said, I know a lot of the folks that spoke tonight live in the Spartanburg County section of Greer, and especially the subdivision off Cosmos Lane. What we're proposing, or what's being proposed, is a city development. Could you talk about the differences with sidewalks and some of the other amenities that maybe even screening that would be potentially required by the developer that would be more intense or than what they would probably see in their community?
Under the county?
Yeah.
Oh, and absolutely. Yeah, their development is in the county, so they weren't subject to our regulations, especially the new UDO regulations. So the development will be required to have interior sidewalks, exterior sidewalks. They would be responsible for widening the road along their frontage. In this case, the city is already working on a project, so they'll be requested to contribute their share to that. They would be required to do a type 1 buffer, which is a minimum of 10 feet and plantings including both trees and shrubs. Trying to think of what else. They are bound by lot size, by density caps.
But I guess
I can't think of anything else at the moment, but.
I guess it would be fair to say that this development, from an aesthetic standpoint, would consider the surrounding neighbors and amenities and things of that nature by way of our UDO.
Yeah, especially I think the buffer is the most important part, kind of screening and buffering it from the new homes in the surrounding areas. They're also required to preserve open space, and they're also required to have both passive and active open space, and a minimum of 10% tree save area as well.
And when you're talking about the buffer, the screening, would that be adjoining to the subdivision, or is it only applying to, what areas would that apply to?
It would actually be all boundaries except the frontage of McElrath, and that one would be required to have street trees.
So even along adjoining the subdivision next door, they would have a buffer, some type of buffer yard?
Yes, a type 1.
Type 1.
What does that mean, type 1?
So it's a minimum of 10 feet, and includes both trees and shrubbery.
Okay. I do notice that two of the people that talk here today live on, well, I guess one's Foster Circle, Charles McAfee, and Alan Hudson. There's a lot in between them off of McElrath that would be
Yeah,
used
so
as
that will be
entrance?
part of the annexation, and it would be the entrance drive.
Okay. Is there enough road frontage to, I mean, do we know what that road frontage is?
So it looks like there is a little bit of open space, the road, which would be a minimum of 44-foot right-of-way, and then lots on the right side. So
There's lots on the,
on the right side of the entrance drive. But again, this is a conceptual layout, so you're really considering the zoning, not the given project. But they are proposing to have an entrance on McElrath.
but we don't have what you're looking at right now, do we?
Yeah, we typically don't share conceptual plans because again, you're considering the zoning. I don't know if. I have it if council would like to see it. That's up to you. The engineer does have the conceptual plan if.
In this case, since this is, I normally ask in the new business for a representative of the owner to address council. Since that wasn't available in our first meeting, I'll entertain that this evening.
I certainly appreciate it. My name is Waverly Wilkes, and I work for Gray Engineering, who would be the engineer on the project. If I may, I will pass those out to take a closer look at. Again, as Ashley said, it is a conceptual layout to show the proposed use for the project as single-family homes. You'll notice when you look at the layout, it is very similar to, say, the neighborhood adjacent to us. It does include the buffer that was mentioned that would be required around the development. That's the green area, the tan, brownish, orange colored areas you see are the lots on the plan. So that is our proposed use. To answer the question, there is ample frontage along the front of there to put our entrance in, provide enough buffer, and to keep some of the lots in the main entrance there.
Ms. Scotty, does staff have an update on the road plans? Do we know at this time
Yes.
what improvements are going to be made?
According to the city engineer, the tentative date to open the bidding process is actually this Friday, the 17th, and then tentative close date of May 7th. So, and then of course it would have to come to council to approve the contract after that.
Is this, I know this is a proposal, but does this meet the 20% green space?
To be completely honest, this has not gone through planning advisory committee, so I cannot say for certain.
I guess I'm asking.
Oh,
Ms.,
sorry.
It does, yes, sir. So this layout does meet all requirements per this traditional neighborhood zoning, yes.
And the 20%, I'm guessing, is including a detention pond.
We do exclude that from our calculations to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Now, I can understand some of the neighbors aren't happy. I will say this, I got 2 emails today in favor, and I've had 1 phone call in favor, so there certainly are some people in favor. And the property owner certainly has a right to do something with their property, just as the people who built the existing homes had a right to do something with their property. Not a bad looking development.
Mayor, I've got a comment in general about this.
All right. Go ahead. We'll have some decorum, please.
This is in general about this development. And I know we're all human and we don't like change. I understand that. But in today's time, in our economy, in our location, we are in a constant state of change. As you know, our population is exploding, whether you're inside the city, whether you're in Spartanburg County, whether in Greenville County. Just ask some of the people, and how long have you been in Greer? There's probably, I don't know how many folks here were born and raised here, but probably we are in the minority there. I travel during the week, up and down I-85, all the way to the Georgia line and back. There's property that's been taken down and being developed that you would never expect. There's property on Wade Hampton Boulevard, not in our city, but just outside, that is set. I mean, it even had a house on it that's just fallen in. You would not think that the land, there would be too many challenges to develop it. It's not. It's coming. There's a few things that we can be assured of. Change is always going to happen. Right now, in the current situation, economic situation that we are in our area, if there is vacant property and a willing owner or owners to sell, someone will buy it, someone will develop it. Even, and maybe you've experienced this, receiving just blind calls from realtors wanting to know if you're interested in selling your house or your property. That's just a function of, I guess, the good times. And you two gentlemen who've been born and raised here, you remember some of the bad times. And you know, so there is, none of us, I don't think, wants to be told what we can do with our own property. And it's just like where I live now, I'm surrounded by more development than I ever thought would be possible, as far as apartments, commercial development, everything. But it is. And the only true solution that I know of, because I hear the comments about the wildlife. Hey, I'm soft spot there. That's, you may just tell me to go jump, but the only solution I know of is if you form groups, almost like an investment group, and you buy these tracts of land which your community thinks is important for your subdivision to maintain a certain appearance. And what you can do with that is then turn around and put it into a easement where it can never be developed. That's the only solution that I know of, because I got it. When you are located off the beaten path and there's nobody around you, and then within a couple of years' time, there's brand new subdivisions, there's more traffic. It's part of what's going on now. And if you want to know what it was like in the 70s and the 80s when textiles started to abandon us, ask these two gentlemen right here, and they could tell you, downtown Greer was literally falling in. So nothing's perfect. But what we try to do, what I try to do as a council person, I know this council tries to do it, the planning commission, our staff, we use the tools at our availability to manage the growth the best we know how. That's probably not comforting, but that's my words on it.
Others? Comments?
Mr. Airwood, that's very well said. A lot of things that I've been kind of thinking through to try to share, you said very well there. The couple of things that I would say is, I'm almost tempted to say we, but I'll say I. Something that I've thought about that I want to do a better job of is expressing empathy when folks like the folks who came tonight, empathy for the change that brings uncertainty, empathy for the grief that any of us share when something that we've grown accustomed to and that we enjoy for so many years changes, right? But also on the flip side of that, I want to do a better job of communicating the decisions that we make and the tasks that we are charged with on issues like this. There are no perfect answers where we can give everybody what they want. We are limited by our role in the process. We are limited by guidelines and constraints in the process. And the point has already been made, this landowner has a right, as any of us do with our own property, has a right to be able to realize economic value of their property. And we as elected officials, we as a governmental entity we don't have the authority to deprive them of that in our system, in our society. And so the best way that we, as an entity, as a city, the best way that we as a body of elected officials, in my estimation, is in a situation like this is a perfect example of not if, but when this landowner does something with their property, that it does happen within the city. That is the only way that we have to be able to not only influence that development to protect our residents who are in the city, but also our neighbors who we do value, who may not be residents directly within city limits. And so I just want to say, again, in conclusion, I understand the uncertainty and I understand the grief that we feel, again, when things change and, maybe things aren't the way that they used to be. I do. I live in the community with you. We all do. And we feel that. But again, there is no perfect, there's just trade-offs for as things do change. And again, Mr. Airwood, well said in that, kind of the historical context as well.
Both well said, but because it's in the city, it will be a quality development with infrastructure, with sidewalks. Streets
Others.
will meet our standards.
Excuse me. Others? Comments? Questions?
Really wish it was, we were zoning for suburban. Seems like a lot, especially with the two other houses right at the entrance. It's,
Further discussion?
But the proposed, it could change legitimately, but what is intended as things stand now is consistent with the suburban density?
The density.
The density itself?
Yes, the proposed density is about 3.9 and the
units.
suburban density is 4,
And again, the rationale is the
smaller lot sizes.
and the proximity to downtown, making it consistent with the ability to have the density there.
Yes, sir.
Others? Others? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Airwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
no.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, thank you, ma'am. We'll take a break.
So the same thing that they have going on at Blue Ridge Plantation where everybody's gonna go to the open green space through people's yard. Same thing.
Both of those lots listed right at the entrance.
This is awful.
They were both here tonight. They could have sold their lots.
Sure could. Yeah, sure could.
Probably can't now.
Council will resume the meeting with the second item before us this evening in old business, the second and final reading of ordinance number 9, 2026. This is an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of an easement in certain real property inside the city of Greer. Mr. Gugelhauer, the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In regards to this conveyance of an easement for the sanitary sewer out at the sports complex, I have no additional information, but I'm welcome any questions.
For the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
Second.
Floor is open. Comments? Questions? Discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Airwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Danner?
Yes. Item 3 is the second and final reading of ordinance number 10-2026. This is an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of an easement in certain real property inside the city of Greer. Mr. Gugelhauer.
Yes, Mayor, and in regards to this conveyance of an easement regarding the permanent power out at the Sports Center, I have no additional information on that as well, but welcome any questions.
For the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Floor is open for discussion. Comments? Questions? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Airwood?
Yes.
Mr. Booker?
Yes.
Mr. Hopper?
Yes.
Mr. Lander?
Yes.
Mr. Bettis?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Danner?
Yes. Second and final reading of ordinance number 11-2026, an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of an easement in certain real property inside the city of Greer. Floor is yours, sir.
Yes, and finally, Mayor and Council, this is in regards to this conveyance of an easement for the domestic water out at the Sports Center. I have no additional information. Welcome any questions.
I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Floor is open for discussion. Comments? Questions? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Airwood?
Yes.
Mr. Booker?
Yes.
Mr. Hopper?
Yes.
Mr. Lander?
Yes.
Mr. Bettis?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Danner?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Council, if you will, as we move to new business, if you will follow me down to item 8, we're going to go ahead and dispense with the accommodations tax recommendations. This is the 2026 accommodations tax grant recommendations. On behalf of the accommodations tax committee, we respectfully forward the attached recommendations for the use of the ATAX money from the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025 to the Greer City Council. Mr. Christopher Klein, Chris Klein, who is our finance director, joins us for this discussion. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council, members of the audience. Thank you for being here tonight. Happy to present to you the recommendations for the 2026 accommodations tax grant for the FY27 fiscal year. So the accommodations tax grant committee, they met on Monday, March 30th at 5 p.m. In attendance was Candace Good, Sergio Diaz, Bill Tyler, Hiten Patel, and Katie Joner. Absent were Karen Hall and Heidi Henry. The committee reviewed a total of 26 applications, 13 applications from advertising and 13 applications from programming. So I want to give you all a general idea of what the committee looks at and considers every year when making these decisions, pretty consistent year over year. They look at the economic impact to the city's hospitality and accommodations industries, attendance of out-of-town guests, culturally enriched events, sales and marketing plans to target out-of-town guests, and promoting and marketing the culture and life of the city of Greer. Wanted to share with you what TURC, the Tourism Expenditure Review Committee, considers tourism-related expenditures that do qualify. So there's 8 listed here. So first one is advertising and promotion of tourism as to develop and increase tourist attendance through the generation of publicity, promotion of the arts and cultural events, construction, maintenance, and operation of facilities for civic and cultural activities, including construction and maintenance of access and other nearby roads and utilities for the facilities. The criminal justice system, law enforcement, fire protection, solid waste collection, and health facilities when required to serve tourists and tourist facilities. public facilities such as restrooms, dressing rooms, parks, and parking lots, tourist shuttle transportation, control and repair of waterfront erosion, operating visitor information centers. So I wanted to provide a slide that kind of shows you all how we came up with the total dollar amount. So there's actually a formula that's given to us by the state. So in FY25, the city of Greer received $326,863 in accommodations tax. Right off the bat, $25,000 is sent over to the general fund, and that money can be used with no restrictions. It goes straight to the general fund. After that $25,000, we arrive at what we call the balance, and the balance is then split up in 3 ways. 5% also goes to the general fund. So that was a total of $40,000 that went to the general fund. 30% goes to the advertising grant. So that was a total of $90,559. And the remaining 65% goes to the programming grant. So a total of $196,211. And just kind of referencing the prior slide, so the advertising grant is just that. It only covers advertising and promotion of tourism. The programming grant covers all the expenditures that I listed on the prior page, including advertising. So I want to be a little more specific with the amounts that we had this year. So again, the advertising amount, FY25, 30% was $90,558. We had a prior year carryover of $31,071. So this year we had a total available to grant for advertising of $121,629.90. On the programming side, the 65% for FY25, $196,210.95, plus interest earned throughout the year, so additional $4,105.70, for a total of $200,316.65. So the final recommendation funding for the accommodations tax grants are as follows. The advertising grants, again, $121,629.90 available. The committee recommended to grant that entire amount. On the programming side, there was a total of $200,316.65 available to grant. The committee recommended to grant $182,290.75 and they recommended to roll over the additional $18,000 to next year. So with that, I'd like to go into the specifics of the grant recommendations this is the advertising piece. The Greer Farmers Market Regional Tourism requested $5,100, and it was recommended $5,100. Greer Heritage Museum Post and Courier Travel Guide ad requested and recommended $1,056. The Greer Heritage Museum New Exhibit Promotion, both requested and recommended $9,700. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Discover Greer website redesign requested $35,000 and was recommended $20,000. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism 2027 Discover SC Vacation Guide ad recommended and requested $11,000. South Carolina Charities, Inc., the BMW Pro-Am Golf Channel coverage requested $40,000 and $0 was recommended. Any Given Supper in partnership with White Wine and Butter, the Jubilee of Food, Wine, and Culture Festival Regional Tourism Campaign requested $25,000 and were recommended $10,000. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Dia de los Muertos Festival recommended and requested $3,375. Cultural Arts Council, the Greer Children's Theater, recommended and requested $3,375. The Greer Chamber of Commerce, Greer Arts and Eats Festival, requested $60,000 and were recommended $49,323.90. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Freedom Blast requested and recommended $4,725. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism International Fest requested and recommended $3,975. And finally, BMW Car of America, the Ultimate Driving Museum 2026-2027 ad campaign, requested $20,000 and were recommended $0. So there was a total of $222,306 that were requested. And again, a total recommended amount of $121,629.90. So there was over $100,000 that had to be cut in these requests. And I believe right now is where we can open up for council discussion.
Council, for the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Floor is open.
Chris, the way you've got it on the slide is a different way. It's in our packet, so I've got some questions that maybe you can help me with. But
Yes, sir.
Programming grants. The first topic. The Greer Farmers Market comes with a recommendation of $20,000. Now, what's
So that is on the next page, so it sounds like those two are flipped in your packet. That is actually on the programming side, which is the next page. This one's the grants, or excuse me, the advertising grant. That one you're referencing is the programming grant.
okay? So what we're talking about now is the advertising dollars.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're doing advertising first, then programs second.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The farmers market, they are advertising. Is that $5,000? And this is one, and I know it's us, but $20,000 for advertising for our website.
So the website redesign, so they're going to be partnering with an outside company to completely redesign the Discover Greer website. My understanding is it's been ran and developed internally, and they're going to actually be partnering. So it's going to cost more than that as well. It's just that's the amount that they are requesting. I think it's going to be closer to $48,000 if I'm not mistaken. But the recommendation was $20,000.
Okay, well, Mr. Merriman, you said tonight, you talked about the numbers for the website. So we're talking about the same thing, correct?
No, sir. What I referenced specifically was the city's website. GreerSC.gov this would be the Discover Greer, and it's a separate website tailored to Discover Greer and our tourism activities.
Completely controlled around tourism.
Yes, sir.
And but it's ours, it's the city of Greer's.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, what do I know about marketing, but we need two. I mean, maybe we got a marketing expert in the back there, maybe she can help us.
Well,
Do we need two?
While the city of Greer, the .gov, the domain .gov is essentially that. And I can get, at some point we can probably bring in some technical expertise on some of the restrictions and search engines and population on how .gov pops up versus a .com pops up versus a .edu pops up on search engines. I'm going to claim ignorance. I'm not feigning it. I'm claiming it on how that works. However, having a dedicated tourism website specifically for the activities not only that the city participates in, but our community at large is a unique search identifier. Okay. And I think it needs to be separate.
Mr. Mayor, two very different purposes and built for two very different.
Yes,
one very informational, functional, operational. The other one.
Yeah, if you're looking for the Foothills Philharmonic and you Google Foothills Philharmonic and you go to the cityofgreer.gov website, you're also going to find council records of ordinances passed for land use decisions from the 70s. So the point is the function of the City of Greer's website is significantly different than what we're shooting for with this.
The Discover Greer website lists, places to stay, places to eat, which all go to the funding of what's being discussed tonight. Whereas you wouldn't find those recommendations on our general City of Greer website.
And those recommendations would be for businesses located and happenings located within the city?
Yes, sir, and events, all that, everything related to tourism within City of Greer.
Within the city?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's like a prolonged commercial in some regards. It's got a ton of information in it, and
Okay, I buy it. I mean,
yeah,
it's interesting.
it's different than going to our website entirely. I mean, it's got a different look, it's got a different feel. It is geared towards those folks that may be looking for something to do or somewhere to go or that sort of thing. So yeah, I think it's valid.
Something that jumps out at me on this list is that almost all of the people that are requesting are not city-funded departments except for Parks and Rec.
So, and that's because they're all involved. Tourism is what drives all these decisions. We have to prove that we are increasing tourism within the city. All these events do that, right? Whereas, finance department or another department in the city isn't going to have an event that's going to bring tourists to the area, which is going to provide the accommodations tax funding for these things.
Mr. Lander, even the makeup of the board is prescribed by state law. They may not be city residents, however, they are subject matter experts in tourism-related industries. Be that lodging, be that food, be that whatever.
Yeah, they must drive or Mercedes then, 'cause, they obviously didn't like the BMW people.
Well, they got funny.
Was it advertising or planning, programming where you decided not to spend all the available funds?
So it was programming. So per our ordinance, the committee can make a recommendation to use those dollars as it sees fit, in which we decided to allocate it to the advertising piece for two reasons. So last year, advertising grants, we only had 6 applicants. It nearly doubled this time around. Also, as you see this year, there's a recommendation to again roll over funds on the programming side. So the committee felt that that rollover can be better utilized here. However, that is up to council's discretion if they would like to reallocate that amount back. But I also will add, final piece to that, is on the programming side, as I mentioned, going through that list, the first item is advertising and promotion of tourism, which is exactly that in the advertisement grant. So that money is still being utilized for its intended purpose. I guess you're just kind of restricting the scope of what it can be used for. So with those factors, the committee recommended to place that rollover there.
While I'm demonstrating the ignorance, and I know no Spanish, so tell me what that one is.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead, yes, sir.
Day of the Dead.
Yep, that's,
Halloween.
yep.
Sort of. But not Halloween.
No, yeah.
It's something different altogether.
Is that our first endeavor in that?
No, last.
I believe this is year
two.
3.
Yeah,
if
this
I'm
will be year
not
3.
mistaken, sir.
Where do they have that?
The Center for the Arts.
That's why I don't know
I
about
think
it.
it was here the first year. and then
First
we
year it
moved
was in the park,
Yeah.
but the last 2 years it's been.
Kids love it.
No?
Okay, so tell me,
At the Center for the Arts. Yeah, all
No,
three.
have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, this Day of the Dead Festival.
Yes, sir.
Please explain. I don't know what it's about.
It's essentially celebrating the Mexican culture celebrates death.
Day of the
They
Dead.
don't, it's instead of fear and death, they celebrate the Day of the Dead. And so it's just acknowledging the ancestry and all the culture related to that.
Has a lot to do with ancestry, but
It's-
The
It's got
movie
to do with
Coco
family.
does a
It's-
great
it's
job
a family
explaining it
gathering,
as well.
go watch Coco.
Yeah, go watch Coco.
Well, that's why it's written in Spanish. You thought it'd come across better instead of Day of the Dead.
It sounds better to say it in Spanish.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if it'd be appropriate or possible, but I would love to get 2-minute synopsis of the Jubilee event, just what's planned, what's envisioned that way, if that's possible from Chef Seibert. Can we do that?
Certainly, yeah. Can you yield the floor?
Absolutely.
Will you please yield the floor?
Yep, I'd be happy.
Chef, you want to give us some insight?
Believe it or not, this is the brains of the operation. I'm just a muscle.
We all know that, so.
Am I okay to go?
Yes, please.
Samantha,
'cause I'm deaf.
Samantha Opier, again. So basically, we've been talking about this for quite some years, and we established our 501c a couple years ago with Chef Tregay, forget her last name, but she's in Atlanta. And we started kind of doing the talks on that and trying to bring awareness to food insecurities in different areas of not just the world, but in our own backyards, right? So we were like, how do we do this? She already does stuff with like children on her side of the border, if you will. And this would be our first contribution to the 501. Basically, we want to bring people that have a lot of money to spend and to lodge and spend money, not only just, with the vendors that we have on site, to think of it as a elevated farmer's market, if you will. You'll have jewelry makers, you'll have pottery makers, we'll also have live music, we'll have auctions for charity, we'll have the celebrity golf tournament, and we already have some already committed to this. I don't know who all knows a tribe called Quest, but we have a few of those, and some other people that are this close to to committing. So that'll be going on as well. All raising money to go not only to our 501, but also to other charities that we align our values with. And like I said, I don't know who all's been to Euphoria. I don't know who all's been to Pro-Am, but it's pretty much going to be a very, very smaller scale. But we're even as a company and everything that we really believe in is quality over quantity. We don't. I could bring in 15,000 people that will spend $20, or I could bring in 1,500 people that'll spend 1,000. I mean, or more really. So that's, yeah.
Is it single site or is it different places?
For the inaugural event, it's going to be single site. Basically, we're looking at 1 versus 2 days, and that a lot of the programming grant. I know we're not there yet, but a lot of that will be a determining factor if we do 1 or 2 days, and yeah.
At Greer Golf? Is
Yes,
the site.
yes.
And dates, do we have dates?
So we're looking at early summer, late spring. We haven't nailed down a date yet. And not that this is going to determine whether or not we have the event. It's just more of, I have to talk with Sam Merrill and the guys up at the course about what date would be the best that isn't already taken, and that kind of thing. So. And this would also, we would have to close the parking lot for that day to house vendors and stuff there. So it's just a bigger talk than just like, here's our money, save the date. But we think we'll have a date probably by the end of May. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Mayor.
Council, I think it's good to be reminded that there is a committee that gets together and prepares this budget for us, for our consideration, and certainly is available for our consideration. Mr. Klein has joined us for discussion here. I'd like to move on. If there are questions, comments, or other things here that you want to discuss, let's go ahead and get those teed up, please.
So the Greer Arts and Eats Festival, that's $49,000 for advertising?
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of money for ads.
A lot of advertising, marketing. They do include that. They include a full project cost in the application. Yes.
Mr. Airwood, I do know in years past, they've done radio ads out of market, different places, Asheville, other places, billboard, in different markets, et cetera, and extensive social media out of our market as well, all targeting those folks that are outside of that radius that we're trying to attract to come into town that way. And over an extended period of time as well.
What goes on at the Arts and Eats? Just eating and artwork?
Well, I would, certainly not the one that puts it on or anything, but extensive live music throughout the day, various locations, performers, extensive arts, craft.
Vendors,
demonstrations. There is alcohol available.
And that's where the rub comes with me, because and I guess I could take this up when we get to the other portion of it, but it was the Chambers, and they had come up with the Family Fest many years ago, and it was a big success. It was billed as the family. There was not alcohol. There's not anything like that. And it never has been talked about by the Chamber to bring anything like that back. So I just don't understand $49,000 in advertising plus another however much in the programming part, $40,000, so $89,000, almost $90,000. I know that with the Family Fest, they didn't have these kinds of dollars to work with in the very beginning. They, it was done by contributions, but they did make a lot of money to turn back over to other nonprofit agencies in our city, and it brought people from all around. But I don't know. There's a lot of things about the Arts and Eats Festival that I just do not like, and I think that those numbers need to be adjusted to some other folks that are on this list that I think are as more deserving.
There was an email that was sent from the Chamber. Was it copied to all of council? And so you've had a chance to read the study that was done by Clemson?
No.
Okay, I just wondered.
Well, no, but what
That's the email, basically.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Katie, what was the monetary return from this festival that you quoted?
So we net once you back out personnel.
Ms. Collins, for a matter of the record, can you come to this podium, please?
Sorry, I was just going to have a conversation with you. Once you back out personnel, the Chamber does make a profit on the event. This is a fundraiser for the organization as well, so that we can then turn around and do the rest of the work that we do, including workforce development, advocacy, and things of that nature. So I don't have the exact budget numbers from last year in front of me, but we did make a profit.
How much? You got an idea, roughly?
Backing out personnel, probably 40,000.
Ms. Collins, I don't want to speak for the Chamber, but in the latter years of the Family Fest, it was not at all a profitable.
Family Fest, once you backed out personnel, especially towards the end, and granted, I was only here through 2018, if you backed out personnel, that festival was losing money by the end.
But it wasn't a moneymaker thing. It was not supposed to be that. And I know people don't like this comment, but the Arts and Eats, and that's just nothing but a copy and paste festival. Everybody else does it. It doesn't represent anything about who we are that I know of.
So if I may, sir, one thing I would say, particularly to the alcohol portion. We do partner with Southern Growl, which is another local City of Greer business. They have their own booth. We specialize. They only have their beer there. We are very specific in making sure that we are bringing people here to get into the local restaurants and local businesses. So we have over 80 artisans, over 30 food vendors, but the goal is really to showcase our beautiful downtown to get those people to come back. And again, it does have alcohol. That is just a fact of the event, but we do specifically support a local business through that.
A number of the live music acts, they are local.
Yes, we've actually made a considerable effort over the last 2 years to try and get more local bands, knowing that they have local followings to bring larger crowds out.
I can understand the sentiment, I mean, yes, there are other festivals that have craft beer, arts, music, et cetera, but I would say, having been there multiple years myself, in our downtown, it definitely has its own unique flavor, for sure. With the vendors, the music, even, you referenced Southern Growl, our local craft beer company, et cetera. And it's in our unique downtown that I am obviously very biased to, in the context of where we are. And again, under it's hard to argue with the impact of putting heads in beds and Heine's in restaurant seats, in our businesses during that day. So that, I guess that's.
Or bringing them back the next day. They get introduced and come back,
Yes.
I'd offer as somebody that attended the last several family festivals, I don't know that having 12 airbrush tents was reflective of who we are as a community either.
Well, you may be correct. However,
$5 Chinese T-shirt booths.
well, here again, it wasn't about making the dollars. However, it may have been. I don't know what the chamber's motivation behind it was at that time.
Well, it wasn't started by
It
the chamber.
it wasn't a chamber event when it was
But
started.
they took it over,
They
right?
took it over.
They took it over because it didn't make any money, yeah.
So they took it over, ran it in the ground, and then they changed.
No.
What I would also add, if I may, we did keep certain, and to be clear, I was not here when Greer Arts and Eats was started either, but we did keep elements from Family Fest. So Creation Station is a long-standing tradition that Family Fest held for many, many years in partnership with a lot of churches and group or local organizations. We still maintain that. We had over 1,000 kids come through that last year for arts and crafts. So it really is, when we say there's a little bit of something for everybody, we really mean it. And our goal in this, to be frank, we have to operate and make our costs as well. However, it is really meant for us to showcase the community that we are all here to support and all love. And we think there's a little bit of that for everybody as part of it.
Well, in your showcase of Greer, all I've heard talk about is our downtown. What about the rest of the businesses that aren't in downtown? And what about, our resources that we have, the lakes and things like that?
Yeah, so Greer CPW has actually been a sponsor of this event for many years and helps to showcase their component of it. And we try to partner with as many of our local businesses as we can as part of it. Downtown is the beautiful jewel. I mean, and it's also the best setup to host a festival. So there is a certain component that it makes sense to host it there, just given the infrastructure components of it. But we do try to make sure that we are including as many local businesses in it as we can.
We've also had motel, hotel owners on 29 that have served on this committee as well, too.
Ms. Collins, I would say the partnership with Southern Growl is a great example of
Absolutely.
outside of downtown, businesses, successful, key businesses that you think of when you think of the city of Greer that we are featuring and highlighting through this event.
Absolutely, and I will add on the Southern Growl part, they actually do a special beer specific to the festival, and a portion of those proceeds go back to Greer Relief.
And this goes back to council and our direction. I was going through the renovated clubhouse with the administrator one day, and as we were walking out, turned the corner, and there was a sign that all it was doing was advertising liquor. Yes, we serve it. Yes, we serve liquor in our stores, but I don't think that is what our city is about. And sometimes these festivals, that's what happens, is there's, yeah, let's go down there because they're serving beer and wine, because they really push that. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm under no illusion that I'm here to stop drinking and people in Greer don't drink. No, that's not it. But I think council has to step up and say, is this what we are about?
All right.
Well, pretty much every festival we have sells beer, correct? I don't think there's one that doesn't sell beer. Anybody?
It's an unfortunate truth.
I mean, I'm just,
Any other questions of Ms. Collins? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I do want to highlight one of the items on here that I don't think is getting enough glory is the Party on Trade, and how the charity program has come in and created a really nice family-friendly event in our downtown. I know it's very well attended, and it's definitely a different vibe from Arts and Eats for sure. And I think it's a really good quality event that's put on.
And Party of Trade is on the recommendation for the programming side, yes, sir.
Now, I want to offer an amendment to these numbers, if you all would oblige me. And I would like to take them out of the additional programming dollars. I would like to add $5,000 to Foothill Philharmonics, and then increase the Jubilee Food, White Wine and Butter, $5,000 from program.
So Foothills Philharmonic is on the programming side?
Yeah.
It's not, they're not being included on the advertising side? Are you?
Oh, we're looking at advertising?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was wondering why we're not switching
help me
this.
out here, stay on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll wait till we get to programming. So y'all have seen what I'm trying to propose. I take it back.
No, here we're allocating the full amount, right?
Yes, sir, the full 121,000.
Now, are we going to vote on each side individually or the full?
In the past, we have taken the accommodations tax grant recommendations as per the committee. While council may adjust some of those, they would be for separate vote. So if anybody wants to offer an amended recommendation, then that needs to be voted on before we can vote on the actual recommendations.
Well,
Or are we
I'm-
good
I'm
on,
with-
everybody in agreement on advertising? We're happy with that?
No.
Okay.
I
I'm
mean,
just trying to figure out
we're gonna-
where I'm
I think
at.
we got to review everything first, correct? Is that what we need to do?
Let's review the operational, maybe.
If you want to review it by sections, that's fine. Yes, we can do that.
I'll move on to the programming side, recommendations. So Greer Farmers Market, the Greer Farmers Market is requested $24,000 and we're recommended $20,000. Greer Heritage Museum, main gallery, new exhibits and upgrades. They requested $36,284 and were recommended $30,000. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, Greer Diamond Invitational at Stevens Field, requested and recommended $6,000. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, Christmas Sevens Rugby Tournament 2026, requested and recommended $8,572, I apologize, requested $8,572.50, and were recommended $8,572. South Carolina Charities, Inc., BMW Charity Pro-Am Party on Trade, requested and recommended $25,000. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, Dia de los Muertos Festival, requested and recommended $10,875. Any Given Sunday Supper in partnership with White Wine Butter Jubilee of Food, Wine, and Culture Festival requested $85,000 and were recommended $15,000. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, a mural public art, requested $30,000 and they were recommended $0. Greer Chamber of Commerce, Greer Arts and Eats Festival, requested $40,000 and were recommended $40,000. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism International Festival, they requested and recommended $4,406.25. City of Greer Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Freedom Blast requested and recommended $20,437.50. BMW Car Club of America, the Ultimate Driving Museum 2026 exhibition, requested $30,000, were recommended $0. And finally, Foothills Philharmonic Classically Casual Concert Season for 2026-2027 requested $11,000 and were recommended $2,000. The total amount requested here was $331,575.25, and total recommended was $182,290.75.
All right. With that being said, this section, discussion.
Tell me, somebody give me the explanation about the Day of the Dead. I mean, that's important to me. I mean, in all seriousness.
Mr. Airwood, the Dia de los Muertos Festival is a. Okay, hang on a second. Is a festival that is very specific to our neighbors in this community that are Latino. It is historically speaking, it is a religious festival that has become very much a part of the culture, and it is celebrated on one day of the year. So the Dia de los Muertos Festival is specific to the culture of that community. It is growing nationwide. You're seeing more and more of it. More and more communities are celebrating this with larger and larger festivals. They're very well attended and have been very important to our Latino neighbors.
Can we ask Lady
We
to come to the
absolutely
podium?
can.
I think that'd be an excellent idea. Ms. Munoz.
Lady Munoz, I think Mr. Merriman explained in a nutshell what this festival is for us, the Latinos. It's a celebration of afterlife. It's for our past ancestors that passed away, and we keep their traditions. We celebrate their birthdays, their life, the inspirations of what they gave us while they were living. So it is a very important festival for the whole community of Latinos, and it's a way also of teaching our culture to the others as well. So it's pretty much in the nutshell a celebration of life after life.
And you're saying, you say Latinos, and I know that folks from Mexico are very proud to be called Mexican. Is this something that is specific to Mexico or all the Latin American countries?
It is specific to all Hispanics and Latino countries.
Okay.
It's just in each different country we celebrate it with a different.
Flair.
So all of them, all of
Yes.
Central and South America? Okay.
Yes.
I just-
It's most popular in
It is
Mexico.
very
I don't know
popular
anything
in
about it, but
Mexico.
we're asking.
As for Colombians, we have a different date to celebrate the Dia de los Muertos. It doesn't really fall on I think it's November 1st. It's what it usually is in Mexico. So it is different days for different countries, but the whole meaning, purpose of the celebration, it is concept with the same.
Okay.
This is something that we have talked about for quite some time among the staff. This is a segment of our population that is nearly 20% of our population, and we were dreadfully underrepresented at a lot of our events, and this was one of the ways that we came up with to address that. And I would urge this council to attend more of these events. If you have children, they will spend the whole day down there doing something. I mean, there was drawings, there was stamped things that they could do. You have people that are dressed up. You've got people walking around on stilts and these fabulous kinds of costumes. They fill the park, the area down there, and inside and outside of the building is full. They have an art show. I would urge y'all to see some of the things that are going on, because while some of these questions raise questions, or while some of the comments raise questions about the amount that we spend on these things, you need to see the kind of effect that they have. This sesquicentennial celebration that we had just the other night, I don't know what the numbers on that were, but it had to be one of the largest events we have ever had in downtown Greer. And it was a wonderful, wonderful night. And I don't know, I don't know what we allocated for that or whatever it was, but it wasn't enough. And, we have this money to spend. It is outlined in state law how it has to be spent. And I think in some regards, while it is our responsibility to be cognizant of where this money goes, we have appointed a committee to set this up and give us a recommendation. If we want to make changes on that, we can, but I don't want to continue this line of questioning about, and for your information, I think that is valuable. But that's all I'm going to say at this point.
You made a good point. Listen, you made a good point, and because exactly that, when you said kids educating and all that, listen, all that's rolling in my head, and what I think we should do, and based on what we've laid out in the past, that we value education, we value athletics, we value arts, we value these other things, and that's at the core of my decision-making. And we have been funding this festival. This is not the first year, I believe, probably a couple other years. And I really hadn't had an explanation of it, and that's all I wanted to know. It wasn't anything, it's just to let me know what I'm either saying yay or nay to. So it's not,
Do they serve alcohol?
No, they sure don't.
Good.
As far as I know,
I'm in favor of it.
they don't. I attended it the first year. It was very well attended. I did not came for the second year, but I'll tell you, it had grown the second year bigger than it did the first. And it was a very good festival to show and showcase the city and showcase diversity.
Is it safe to venture that it's been well-attended, not just by our Hispanic community
No,
as well?
it was.
Across
no,
cultures,
across,
et cetera.
yes,
Absolutely.
across different cultures and different backgrounds. So, a melting pot. That's how I see it.
Thank you.
You're
What I
welcome.
wanted to hear, what it was. So,
Chris,
Yes, sir.
quick question. What is the reasoning behind not allocating all the funds received? How is that decision made?
So the committee felt, and again, it kind of came up last year too, you can roll over the funds have to be spent within 2 years. So the committee, again, who's made up of, community members who are involved in HTAX, ATAX, who see a lot of these dollars coming in through their own business, they gave the recommendation of, hey, maybe these dollars will be better allocated for next year in anticipation of some of these more requests. Like I said, this year, advertising doubled, right, the applicants. So it was just a decision of looking at the dollars we had and, going off the requests being made, just moving some over for the following year, similar to last year.
But as we progress as a city, these ATAX's dollar amounts should also grow. So, I mean,
Yes, sir.
I'm just a little confused. I mean, I'm kind of with Karim on this. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more go.
Yes, sir. I think last year was the first year in a while where they requested to roll over, and then this year as well, because in the past, typically, they had recommended the entire amount.
Okay, so I don't know how we do this, but I'd like to see, Philharmonics with a little bit more, and with the balance going to wet wine and butter.
I agree with that. Chris, you were privy to the negotiations on all this?
Yes, sir.
Can you give us a little bit of clarity on the ones that were zeroed out? Why they were zeroed out?
Especially the public art. Is that the one we?
Just BMW.
Yes, sir. Well, there was two. So the mural, the committee didn't feel that while the mural's going to be great, that it's going to bring in tourism, that folks are going to come in from out of town to view this mural. The folks in town are going to appreciate it, but is it going to bring in folks outside this 50-mile radius? They just didn't feel like it would.
Makes sense. What about the BMW?
Yeah, but the BMW.
So BMW, so twofold. One, BMW does receive funding through ATAX through Greenville County and City of Greenville as well, so they have other avenues. They have a little more dollars to be given to them, the committee felt, and also just recently, the committee felt that BMW doesn't promote the city of Greer specifically like some of these other events do. They promote their event, not so much the city of Greer.
Correct.
I agree with that, but when they don't get any money, you can hardly blame them.
Well, they're getting money in a couple, they're getting money in,
Not much.
well, they got, somewhere they got.
They got 25.
They,
Oh, that's more than I got.
What did you say about the programming? I didn't catch what you were saying.
He
You
agrees
said
with you.
you said fully fund Foothill, or
I think if we
jump
were
it
to
up
go,
to 10 or 8 or whatever.
I mean, I don't know.
Or the-
I don't
so-
see the reason if we're gonna have more tax dollars next year to allocate, then why roll over anything?
there is $18,025.90.
So yeah, if we wanted to go, I mean, I like a tribe called Quest, so like I'm a little bit biased here, so.
They are
I think
good.
5,000 suggestion to Philharmonic is good, and put the balance on the
Well,
Jubilee.
talking with Mark, he would like to push it up to the 10,000 mark for Foothills.
If
I
I
think
may.
last year
I
we
can
gave
live
them
with that.
12.
For that,
The
yeah.
Philharmonic fills a very unique, one-of-a-kind.
I agree.
Niche in our community. And
Yeah,
And
The
we can
balance.
throw the balance to white wine and butter.
yeah.
And I agree, and that goes along with what we have said in what we believe. We believe, we value the arts, we value athletics, we value education, and those two things right there go right along with education. You can look at children who participate in athletics or the arts, or both. They generally perform better than children who do not. So I'm all behind.
So you would say an amendment of, if you want to have an additional 8, or a total of 10,000 to
Yeah, so
Philharmonic.
amendment would be to add,
Be like 10 and change added on to Jubilee.
yeah, so it'd be add 8,000 to Foothills. And then that would leave 10,000 as a change to
$25.
go to,
So how do we do
Other
without
group.
that? Mr. Rick?
yeah, I'll make that as a motion to
Second.
Could you repeat that, please?
add 8,000 to Foothill Philharmonics. And then that leaves a remaining balance of 10,000, what's the,
$25.90.
to Jubilee, a food, wine, and culture festival. And that would increase to 25 change, whatever he said.
And I second.
Just a point of order, we've already got a.
We've got a motion,
No, we have
as-
an amendment to the motion.
amendment. You've got a motion to amend the
I
budget.
second the amendment.
We need to vote on the amendment.
All right, so we need to vote to change.
Vote on the amendment.
We have to vote on the amendment. So it comes as an amendment, correct?
Correct.
All right. With that, Ms. Duncan.
Mr. Arrowood?
We're voting on
The amendment.
Carr's
amendment.
amendment.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
On Carham's amendment of the two items.
we're taking a vote to, we've got a motion and a second on this.
yes.
We will have to take a vote to amend it. Is that correct?
That's what
We're voting on the amendment Councilman Booker just made.
He just made,
For the-
okay.
Okay,
All right.
okay,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
We go back and vote.
Now we need to
on the-
Now we gotta vote a whole,
On the whole
As
thing.
amended.
Yes.
As amended. Okay.
Motion
So
to
we
approve
have-
as amended.
Second.
Have a motion as amended. Got a
Second.
first and a second on that. Further discussion? Comments or questions? Hearing none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Aaronwood,
yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes.
Confusing.
They had almost $5 million to give away.
Well, we would have been here till tomorrow.
It always takes us.
All right, we took the liberty of changing some things around. We're going to let some folks slip out at this point, and we are going to go back to the agenda in just a second here to items of new business. All right, council, and items of new business. The first this evening is the pilot watershed study update. This is the engineering department is in the process of evaluating our storm drain system citywide. Adam Vadeas joins us for that discussion. The floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Adam Vidales. I'm a civil engineer in the engineering department, mostly doing stormwater engineering with the city. As some of you may or may not know, we commissioned a pilot watershed study in 2022, the results of which came back in 2024, and we'd like to go over the results of that study. So a little bit of background. The study was completed in 2023, and we got the report in 2024. The watershed that was targeted for analysis was identified in our strategic asset plan, and it was the highest priority watershed based off of resident feedback. And the goals of that study were to essentially address the flooding in any flood-prone areas based on resident feedback, identify whatever infrastructure needs to be repaired or inspected, enhance our GIS inventory of stormwater assets, and eventually establish our methodology of how we're going to master plan other watersheds in the future. So here's the watershed. It's the Maple Creek watershed. As you can see on the bottom right, there's the red star where the entire basin of 1,600 acres all drains to. And there's some familiar areas within this watershed. So we have Stevens Field, Century Park, a little bit of downtown, Greer Mill. They all drain to that red star. You can see on this map that there were some areas within that study that were recommended for improvements. So the areas in green are actually areas that were already improved. You have the Greer Mill West and Stevens Field. Those were already initiated. In the future, we have the blue areas, which is Carolina Avenue and Greer Mill East. We have improvements planned for that, as you'll see in our next exhibit. And then we have proposals for a couple of culverts on Maple Circle and Buncombe Street that we will be telling you about in the future. So the results of the study, W.K. Dixon surveyed and inventoried about 500 structures and 8 miles of storm drain pipe. They geolocated the pipe and used that information to update our GIS system. They also did some stream analysis, so about 32,000 feet of streams within the watershed, And we used their recommendations to personally CCTV inspect 7,000 feet of pipe, and we jet cleaned 1,200 feet of pipe. So here's those were the results of the study. Now, this is mainly about how we're going to use those results. And the watershed study basically gave us the ability to identify the areas that we need to focus our public service efforts on. A few of the areas, as I discussed before, are the Greer Mill. We actually worked with the Greer Mill developer to improve 2 pipes that were in very poor condition. So they were the ones who actually went and did that for us. We also improved Lee Street near Turner Field as part of that project. They upsized 300 feet of pipe at the recommendation of W.K. Dixon, who did the study. They also did some outfall improvements to prevent erosion in the future, and that pipe directly discharges to Maple Creek. Here's some images of pipes that were taken by our public services stormwater crews. These are pipes that were recommended for review by the study, and as you can see, they're in very poor condition. These pipes are on our list for repair in our next exhibit for the stormwater capital improvements. They'll both be replaced. But we also wanted to tack on a few other projects that have been kind of lingering around. So this is Glen Willow Court, and this is an outfall that is totally collapsed. It's a very steep slope, and we basically wanted to tack this on with the other projects like Lee Street and Ford Street to get a more competitive bid and to kind of lump all that together. And the final one is Ebbett Court. We also wanted to include this. This is a pipe that has collapsed. We tacked this on with the other projects, as I said before, just to get a competitive bid. And I guess that's kind of going to be what we're going to do in the future, is just lump everything together as we find it. And on the next phase, I think we're going to do the Biblebrook Drive watershed, which has about 76,000 feet of storm drains. And that's 900 plus total runs of pipe that will be inspected. And the primary goal that we are aiming for is to identify the most critically damaged storm drain assets. These are assets that are under roads, under sidewalks, or that get a lot of water going to them, ones that are far downstream. We want to prevent, sinkholes and flooding, and the best way to do this is to fix the most critical assets. And then our secondary goal would just be to geolocate any assets that we don't have, because our storm drain system is very old, and there's a lot of assets that the city should be maintaining that we may not know about. That really concludes our findings from the study. I'll take any questions if you have them.
Thank you, sir. For the purpose of discussion and questions, I'll entertain a motion that we receive.
So move.
And a second. Floor is open.
2 questions I have. One, is there a different material that's used to make stormwater piping that's more durable than concrete?
Yeah, so they have a pipe, a polypropylene pipe called HP Storm. That's it's a very popular product now. You usually see one or the other. You usually see concrete or plastic pipe. The plastic, I find that a lot of people do prefer it, but RCP is the tried and true method.
So is there any discussion with y'all's department about saying, hey, if you're going to put in stormwater drainage, we're thinking about using the plastic pipe?
Yeah.
Versus the concrete? If y'all,
we do allow both.
you have to allow both?
Mm-hmm.
Well, would it be prudent that we talked about requiring plastic instead of concrete?
We don't require it. We just allow, it's the developer or the contractor's choice.
But should we?
That's the question, should we?
That is up for discussion. I'm not partial to either one. I think it depends on the project and also depends on availability of the product. Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to see, maybe if y'all could just do a very brief look into that and just get back, because, you know, concrete is going to be porous, and eventually it's going to fail just because of the infiltration of the water. I'm not sure about plastic, but whatever we can find, you know, whatever, I mean, you guys are the experts, I just like to know. The other, the Red Star, where it's all draining to. Of course, by making all these repairs, we're going to make that floodplain a lot more active, right?
What do you mean by active?
Well, we're going to send more water down the line, and it's going to flood that place a lot better.
No, you'll get the same amount of water. It's just, it'll go where it's intended to go, which is
No, I got it. I
basically
mean,
a
we don't,
river.
we don't want any of the sinkholes or anything like that. I got that. I'm just saying that in that study that these guys did, you know, one of the last pictures they showed was the flooding. I guess that's Acorn Drive in 101. That's not in the city. It's always flooded. It flooded right after that when Helene came through, and it flooded a bunch of houses. It's always been flooded. I just want to make sure that what we're doing is just for the city, correct?
Yes, of course.
Kind of looping back to what Jay said concerning whether you use plastic pipe or concrete pipe, at least in my experience, I think the issue over the years we faced is geotechnical engineering wasn't as utilized in construction as it is now. And so what you're finding in these concrete pipes is it was really more the soil strata was what failed. It wasn't necessarily the pipe itself. And so maybe instead of us saying you can only use concrete or you can only use plastic, I know SCDOT has moved to where every run of pipe now is the soil is tested and you get you understand what type of soil material you have, and based on that you'll have foundation improved pipe installation. And so because if we X out concrete, well, what do you do for outfalls from a stormwater pond? And we all know that those 20-foot sticks of plastic pipe it's not a good situation when you got a 50-inch barrel coming out of a stormwater pond, because then the installation of it is more challenging and you don't get a better product. So that was my take on that. I do want to give y'all kudos because stormwater infrastructure it's always set in the ground and forgotten about. And so I'm glad that our roads fall apart because we don't get water off the road and get it away from the roadway. And so I give y'all kudos for tackling this issue that most people don't even think about and we drive over every day. So thank you.
I would second that. I mean, that's the infrastructure that makes the city work. Now, people showed up tonight about development, but, without the underpinnings that y'all put in, it wouldn't matter.
Good work.
Others?
Curious on situations where, like one case in point would be over the Victor site. We've got the area behind the Lively at Victor. I know there's some SCDOT infrastructure. I think Old Woodruff Road is SCDOT road. What do we do in situations where we've got deteriorating infrastructure and is there opportunities for us to work with DOT and make requests, or do we tackle them ourselves? How are we tackling situations like that?
That would be something we would have to discuss with DOT. We don't maintain any of their assets. We don't partner with them in any way. I mean, we have in some cases, but I think stuff like that needs to go directly to DOT and have them handle it.
We communicate with them regularly. If we see something, we'll let them know, but we don't spend.
How responsive are they on?
Mr. Grant, if you'd like to reply, if you'll come to the podium, please, so we can make a matter of the record.
I mean, all we can do is give them the information, what they do with it and how fast they react. We really don't have any control.
I think this is going to be another part of our discussion. What council's going to say is that we all know DOT is going to do DOT. And there may be things, the most simple things we're doing now, and I've seen it, that we're running our sweeper trucks outside city limits, but we're hitting a lot of the city limits with it, but we still cleaning up stuff out of their gutters. So, I don't know, it's a discussion we need to have at some point about how we need to address some of that stuff.
All right, this was a matter of discussion. We don't need to take any action, any further discussion in this regard. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Appreciate it. With that, then, let's move to item 2, stormwater improvements projects. This is the 2026-014 award recommendation. City of Greer Engineering Department solicited sealed bids from qualified offerers for stormwater improvements on Ebbets Court, Glen Willow Court, and Carolina Avenue. Ms. Camo joins us for this discussion. Yeah, I know.
You got it the last time.
Leaves me tongue-twisted every time.
Thank you. Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. As Mayor mentioned, our Stormwater Division from our Engineering Department would like to recommend award to McMurray Grading LLC, who was the lowest responsive bidder for this solicitation out of 4 bids received. And for that, I'll open that for any questions.
For the purpose of further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
So moved.
And a second. Floor is open.
I'll say I'm thrilled to see Ebbets Court on this list. That's been something, I don't know how many times Mr. Grant and I have emailed back and forth. I know if you've talked to residents, I was first made aware of this in, I think it was September of 2023. And so I appreciate all the work in getting this to this point.
Others?
Carolina Avenue, that's been an issue for a while, hasn't it? Yeah. Glad we're getting on. And all this is funded out of our stormwater fund, correct?
Correct.
Just out of curiosity, what would we expect turnaround time for the work after tonight, assuming we approve?
Midsummer. Others? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Earwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Third item before us, first and final reading of Resolution Number 8-2026. This is a resolution approving the conveyance of city property. Mr. Merriman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you. As we do from time to time, when we dispose of city property, and I don't want to use the term dispose callously in this particular case, as an officer is going to be retired in Officer Icar, our K-9, but this is a transfer agreement between the city and Officer Cody Gould, who was Icar's handler during Icar's service to the city. Icar is aged out, and Officer Gould would like to keep him as a domestic pet and the partner and friend that he was.
Straightforward explanation. I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
And one of those counts as a second.
Did you get Mr. Lamb?
It don't. Just pick.
Yeah.
Don't matter, whichever.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you like.
We've got a motion and a second at this point. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Airwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Mr. Lamb.
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes.
How long do our canines stay in service, guys?
There's a number of variables that kind of come into play with that. A working law enforcement canine can be anywhere from 6 to 10 years, maybe on average, depending on qualifications, environment,
Right,
things
right.
along those lines.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Would have been nice if Mr. Icar would have joined us today.
Let's move to item 4, which is the first and final reading of Resolution Number 9, 2026. This is a resolution to accept Vines Creek subdivision streets, namely Reedier Road, Bowfin Street, Redfin Road, Vines Creek Drive, and Hickory Shad Court into the City of Greer street system. Mr. Buchanan joins us for this conversation. The floor is yours, sir.
A good late evening, Mayor and Council. This is the Vines Creek subdivision. It was started construction in 2022. It is located off Brockman-McClyman Road and is approximately 260 feet off the intersection of Abner Creek and Brockman. All utilities are installed. The streets are paved. It is fully built out with 168 out of 168 lots being built. Staff has inspected the construction and believes it meets city standards. Therefore, that we recommend Reeder Road with a length of 1,608 feet, Bowfin Street with a length of 955 feet, Redfin Road with a length of 695 feet, Vines Creek Drive with a length of 1,660 feet, and Hickory Shad Court with a length of 918 feet be accepted into the city's inventory. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
For the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Floor is open for discussion.
I love these names. Somebody must have been a big fan of South Carolina fish. I mean, bowfin, man, that is nothing but a prehistoric, just nasty fish.
Or the Hickory Shad.
Yeah.
Others.
Just out of curiosity, when we do these for future reference, when we take ownership of these streets, are there any kind of bond that comes with them, or?
So during the development, during the construction process of a vanilla subdivision, there's a few bonds that come into play, performance bonds. We have our stormwater bond, which is required at the actual issuance of the grading permit. That covers all your erosion control devices and the pond construction, some as-built, which basically lets the city know whatever you installed is actually this versus it may vary a little bit off the plans, stuff like that. And then for subdivisions at final plat, it has various names amongst staff, but it's basically an infrastructure bond that covers the road surface, sidewalk repairs, stuff that isn't installed at the issuance of final plat. We require a little bit in the weeds, but we require a surface of asphalt be installed. We call that the binder surface. It's got a little bit different of a mix than what you typically drive on. But that's basically if you've ever gone into a newer subdivision where the curb's a little bit higher than the surface, that's part of what that bond covers in addition to some landscaping, street lighting, everything else that the city requires.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I guess kind of just tying it
Yeah.
to the stormwater discussion we just had where, you know.
So, as part of our vanilla ones, and we'll talk about one a little bit later, that's a little bit different. Our 2-year road warranties is basically just, and to our understanding, we've never had to use it, but it's basically an assurance for the city that if there is a major problem, within 2 years, we'll call the developer and basically come fix the road.
Like settling issues or?
Major stuff. Now, obviously, asphalt's going to crack, stuff like that. But if there's sinkholes or major stuff, then that's when we would call that.
But it's not only on the road, it's road and infrastructure as well, so stormwater, piping, so
So
on.
the stormwater wouldn't necessarily be covered in the 2-year road warranty. That would just be the actual asphalt. The performance bonds, typically those are released in their entirety at the acceptance of the roads. So part of the assurance that we know the stormwater's in good working order is our public service teams will go in and CCTV it before we get to this stage. And then the developer makes whatever repairs we ask, or else we don't accept the roads.
Okay.
I think that covers it all. Just a couple
That
moving
helps, yeah,
pieces.
that helps.
Others? Questions?
I guess in reference to the stormwater ponds themselves, that's a whole nother requirement where they have maintenance agreements in place and they're required to.
So the city basically maintains any stormwater asset that carries, and there's minor exceptions, carries runoff from the roadways down to the pond. The city doesn't maintain the ponds themselves, but as long as there's the correct easements put in place, the city will maintain all those assets downstream to the pond. Now, the ponds are typically turned over, as Councilman Booker was indicating, to the HOA that's formed at the setup of the development. And they're charged with mowing the grass of that, making sure debris stayed out, all that. And all that's checked by our inspectors throughout construction. And a part of this process is the grading permits closed out. Our inspectors will walk through with the contractors and make sure everything's up to standards.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Others? Questions? Comments? Further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, let's move to item 5, the first and final reading of resolution number 10-2026, a resolution to accept Donahue Hills subdivision streets, namely Don Hill Drive, Nadine Way, Cindris Lane, Alleghez Drive, and Alvin Pond Drive into the City of Greer street system. Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the Donahue Hills subdivision. This project also started in 2022. This is located off Old Jones Road, approximately 622 feet from the intersection with Old Jones and DeYoung Road. This is in Council District Number 3. All utilities are installed. The streets are paved. Housing construction is completely built out with 95 L95 lots being built out. City staff has inspected the construction and believes that meets the standards. Therefore, staff recommends Don Hill Drive with a length of 900 feet, Nadine Way with a length of 981 feet, Cindris Lane with a length of 396 feet, Alleghez Drive with a length of 445 feet, and Alvin Pond Drive with a length of 727 feet be accepted into the city inventory for ownership and maintenance. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
For the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Floor is open for discussion. Questions? Comments? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan.
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, item 6 before us this evening is the first and final reading of resolution number 11-2026. This is a resolution to accept Chartwell Estates subdivision streets, namely Chartwell Drive, into the City of Greer street system. Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the Chartwell Estate subdivision. This is abnormal because the project was started in 2000. This is located off Gibb Shoals Road with a length of 930 feet off of north of Diller Road and 285 feet south of East Super Road. This is one of our subdivisions located in 2 districts, in Council District 3 and 6. All utilities are in, the streets are paved, although staff did not inspect the construction of the road at the time. We have done corings, and it does meet city standards based off those corings. Therefore, staff recommends Chartwell Drive with a length of 5,160 feet be entered into the city inventory. I will note at this time, staff is not considering Chartwell Gate Drive, as there is a portion of the road surface that is a stamped concrete pattern. And we don't have the ability to maintain that currently in the city inventory. It's been communicated, and I'd be happy to discuss it more with the residents or with council, that once that segment is replaced with asphalt, we'd be happy to consider it into acceptance. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'm the HOA president of Chartwell, and I'm just here to answer any extra.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We'll keep that in mind as we get to that point. For the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
And a second. Now, the floor is open for discussion.
I'll say I appreciate you being here. I've been in contact with Mr. Wolf about this, and I know it's been quite a journey for you guys navigating with your current and past management companies, et cetera. So I'm glad we're to this point for y'all.
Curiosity, the stamped concrete at the entrance. What kind of shape is that in?
It's in fair condition.
Fair.
There is some noticeable cracking in the concrete. It's drivable, but in a longevity, it will need to be replaced with either a similar concrete pattern or asphalt if the city would like to take it in.
Questions? Comments? Any further discussion in this regard? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes.
Thank you all.
My apologies for making you sit here until 9 o'clock.
Congratulations on the long
You
journey.
gotta talk to Tammy, suck up her and get moved up.
Council, the last item was the ATAX conversation, so we are left with a recommendation that is coming to us as a resolution. As you are all aware, we are making headway in the transition with the retirement of Judge Henry Mims. We have a resolution which will name the city's municipal courtroom the Henry J. Mims Courtroom. I think we probably all can think of our favorite Judge Mims saying or story or whatever. So this comes to us as a first and final reading of a resolution, Resolution 12-2026. With that, I'll ask for a motion to receive.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Any conversation in regards to the renaming or the naming of the Greer Municipal courtroom, the courtroom, to the Henry J. Mims Courtroom?
You know how I'm always saying this, it needs to represent Greer, and we need to be unique. We need to get him to record some of his sayings and have a little push button that you could, like you go to a museum and you could hear stuff.
Yeah, well, there's some we don't want. Others.
My favorite is, do you like orange?
Yes, yeah, you a Clemson fan? Yeah.
I will say, over the years, growing up, admiring Judge Mims at a very early age, just at a distance, and then being on council the past 4 years, he's turned into a really great friend, a lot of great wisdom, and I'm honored to be so close to such greatness to admire over the years. So I really appreciate everyone bringing this to the forefront, and it's definitely well-deserved, not just in the Black community, but the community across Greer, for sure, because Judge Mims has many life lessons that we all could rattle off.
And we will certainly be doing some special stuff around his retirement as well, too, so just keep that in mind as we look to future calendars. Anything else in that regard? Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Aaronwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Lander,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, as we don't have anything in executive session, before we disperse, I'd like to remind you of some calendar updates for workshops. Be aware of those as we move forward with our planning for the budget session. If you're not going to be able to make those should be recorded as we will be gathering as a group. So maybe provide you some information in that regard. Certainly, questions directed to the city administrator are appropriate as well too. But hopefully, we'll be able to spend enough time together to make sure that your questions, comments, and thoughts are gathered as we go through these opportunities to spend some time with the budget. Not having anything in executive session, we stand adjourned.